By night, he is a hard-working taxi driver, as he explained when we took a ride in his cab in the early hours of a Saturday morning.
I'm going to finish maybe around 6 to 9, this morning, then go home, sleep till maybe 4 o'clock or 5, then come out again for the night.
Would you work many days during the week then?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
All right.
Would you not worry, like, working at night, like, that you'd be tired of that? No, I mean, or...
No, if I sleep a whole day, if I sleep at least 7 hours, I'll be enough for the whole night.
Well, you have to get the 7 hours sleep during the day. Once you get the 7 hours... Minimum. Okay. Do you think you'll stay with the taxi driving, or would you like to do something else now?
No, the way it is now, there is nothing else to even do now. No other job you want to do at this time.
But Mr. Rossifo was lying when he said there was no other job he wanted at the moment, because by day he is a full-time driver for Dublin Bus. In fact, between his 2 jobs, we witnessed Rossifo driving more than 90 hours a week. On one weekend alone, we observed him starting work in Dublin Bus at 6 a.m. on Friday morning. Later that day, when he completed his shift, he started working in his taxi. He didn't finish until 5 a.m. on Saturday morning. That's 23 hours non-stop driving. Incredibly, just 7 hours later, he was on his way back to the bus garage in Broadstone to start another shift. He finished at 10 p.m. on Saturday night. Once again, it was into his taxi, which he drove until 4:30 a.m. on Sunday morning. A few hours sleep and he was back on the bus just after midday on Sunday. He didn't finish until just after midnight. In those 3 days alone, Kennedy Rossifo spent more than 51 hours driving his bus and taxi.
I've expressed very serious concerns about double jobbing. I wrote to the various ministers for transport, so they're fully aware of this practice. But their excuse was always that, oh, well, there isn't any law being broken. But I do not accept that a person who's in a state of fatigue should be allowed to hold a licence to endanger other people's lives, and it has to stop.
Week after week, we saw Rossifo repeat the same pattern. In fact, some weeks he worked even longer hours. It was time to confront him about his dangerous behaviour.
Kennedy, hi. My name is Paul Maguire from Primetime Investigates in RTE. We're doing a programme in relation to...
I don't work on this now. Okay?
Yeah, no, but we're doing a programme in relation to taxi drivers who are endangering people's lives by breaking the rules and regulations. Can I just ask you about the fact that you've just finished working for Dublin Bus? You've just done a 9.5-hour shift and now you're going out to do taxi driving?
Excuse me, I don't understand what you're talking about.
No, can you tell me why you're working for Dublin Bus? Why you're working anything up to 90 hours a week? Kennedy, will you tell me why you're endangering people's lives, Kennedy? Kennedy, you've just worked 9.5 hours for Dublin Bus. Why are you going out driving a taxi, Kennedy?
We contacted Dublin Bus to ask about their policy on drivers double jobbing and endangering the lives of bus users. In a statement, the company says all Dublin bus drivers are employed full-time and work an average of 48 hours a week in accordance with the Working Time Directive. Drivers must advise the company if they're involved in outside activities that infringe on their working hours. Staff members found to be in breach of their contract of employment can face disciplinary proceedings.
Driver fatigue is one of the main contributory factors in causing death and injury collisions. When I see a driver, double jobbing, it begs the question, have we arrived at a situation where tachographs will have to be fitted on taxis so that the hours being driven by taxi drivers are actually logged?
Under the Taxi Regulation Act 2003, individuals found endangering lives can have their licences revoked. There are mandatory penalties for those convicted of assaulting passengers, drunk driving or dangerous driving.